What down, family? It's your boy SNTV, man. People always ask me to do, stories and shit like that. So I decided to do a story about a guy that I really loved. You know what I'm saying? He was a good friend of the family. And he was actually one of the first people that I lost to the streets. Actually, all of us lost him to the streets. Rest in peace, Toto Brown. Everybody called him Toto. I came up on the 800 block of Waller. Those of y'all from the west side, y'all know where Waller at. You know what I'm saying? Right off Chicago Avenue, in between Massasoit and Parkside. I came up on a house in the middle of the block, 833 North Waller. At the time when I was coming up, it was like, man, all of us was like the whole block, the 800 block, the 700 block, and the 900 block. We was like family. We would go to the 700 block, we would go to the 900 block and kick it. Most of the time we would be on our block because my granddad, he loved kids or whatever. So, and plus he had a lot of grandkids. So all our cousins would always, come on our block, come to the house or whatever. Cause, we basically stayed, my mama basically stayed, with her mama for a while when we was young. And then we ended up moving to, after we left from over there, we ended up moving on Mayfield. But anyway, we had a 3-apartment Greystone. And if you're from the city, you know exactly what that is. It looked like a house, but it's really like 3 apartments. It's a top. You got the second floor. You got the first floor. Then you got the basement. And everybody would always be over there. This was like the rock of the block and the rock of the family. And my granddad, my grandma, she had a garden, in the back or like on the side of the house. And my granddad, he had put a basketball rim in the backyard. But before that, we was actually hooping in the back alley. But what we was doing was we'll nail a crate. We'll cut a crate out, cut the middle of the crate out, and nail the crate to a like one of them power line posts. You know what I'm saying? To be hooping on that. Those of y'all from the hood, y'all already know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But we was doing that. And then one of the guys off the block, he had ended up messing up his knee. So my granddad didn't want us doing that no more. So he went ahead and put a rim in the back. Now, what him putting the rim in the back did was it caused everybody to, like, at first it'll be, motherfucker be over that hill, motherfucker be over there. When we put that rim in the back, everybody will just be over there. You know what I'm saying? All at once. Like, we might be hooping, we might be playing the game, and then these motherfuckers over here, they waiting, they got next, you know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. It was just like all love, man. All of us was basically family. At the time, you had, you had a couple body snatchers over there on Waller, but it was mainly C's, conservative vice lords, and travelers. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, I think Toto was a traveler. Toto was either a traveler or a neutron. But, Toto's situation was, my cousin, TT, he was real good at basketball, but he had a situation where, he wasn't raised by his mom and his dad. He was actually raised by my grandparents. And they treated him, like he was theirs, because they actually raised him or whatever. And Toto's mother, she was on drugs real bad. So Toto was basically like our cousin too, because he would always live with us. His sister Donica, she would babysit us. You know what I'm saying? He had an older brother named Anthony. I don't even know if Anthony's still living or what he doing, but they had an older brother named Anthony. He was already in the streets or whatever doing what he was doing, but Toto really kind of stayed with us. So he really grew up with us. You know what I'm saying? because of his situation. You know, my granddad and my grandma didn't want to see him down there struggling, you know what I'm saying, young, don't even know where his next meal coming from. Plus, like I said, he was my cousin's best friend. So, you know, it was all love or whatever. And when they got in like the 8th or 9th grade, you know, shit started getting a little hectic or whatever. You know, niggas started picking up flags, niggas started gang banging. Some niggas started dying, niggas started robbing, going to jail. You know, as you get older, you tend to split up from your friends. And that's what ended up happening. But Toto was always a friend of the family. And Toto was actually funny as hell, man. Toto was funny, bro. He was like a jokester. Like, he wasn't really no street dude. He wasn't really no fighter. That's why when we lost Toto, it was like, damn, like, they killed Toto. And it's tripped out the way he died. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But, yeah. You know, Toto was like a jokester, man. Cool as hell. If you go around Toto and you feeling some type of way, man, Toto would always lift your spirit. You know, you really couldn't do too much to make Toto mad. The only thing that would make Toto mad, I can recall, is, you know, talking about his mother. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, she was on drugs real bad. And, like I said, coming up, he was my cousin best friend. So we together every day, you know what I'm saying? But they like 4, 5 years older than me. So I had my little, you know, my little group. And then, you know, they had their little group, but I would always run behind them. Cause, you know, they were the older guys or whatever. But they was really like, my cousin them was really like hoopers for real. Like, if you from my block, then you remember Byford, you remember Douglas, you remember Austin, and you remember them motherfucking Bethel Blazers and them small fries. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bethel Blazers, I want to say, when my brother and my cousin was playing for Bethel, they was like #1 in the state of Illinois. If they weren't #1, they was like #2. Like, they was beat motherfuckers like 120 to like 30 or 40 or sometimes 15 or 20. Like, they was beating the soul out motherfuckers. They had a full court press that you just couldn't stop. All along was quick. Everybody can shoot. Half of them was jumping out the gym, dunking that bitch. So it was crazy. But so that's how a lot of the other guys, you know what I'm saying, came about. And that's what linked us together. Basketball. And then at the time, you know, Michael Jordan was a big thing in the city. So, you know, motherfuckers was Jordan crazy back then. Niggas was getting killed for the shoes and shit and them starter jackets back then. But yeah, so, you know, niggas started getting old or whatever, so niggas started getting in the street. And at Toto, he was always different. Like, he wasn't really in the streets, but he hung with people that was in the streets. And what ended up happening was, one day, you know, I never forget it. As a matter of fact, this was my older brother's birthday. This was May 26, 2006. Some guys pulled up that some of the other guys was beefing with. Now, like I said, Toto wasn't really in the streets like that, so he wasn't really in the mix, but he was fucking with some of the guys who was really in the streets, so niggas was into it with niggas off other blocks. But, you know, like I said, Toto wasn't really with that shit. But like, when you into it with somebody and they pulling up and they coming to get you, whoever around you can get it too. Like, that's just how niggas in Chicago gon' play it. Like, niggas ain't stopping to ask no questions or nothing like that. They just hopping out and they just shooting. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think the nigga name was 50. It been a while ago, like 2006, you know what I'm saying? I think the nigga name was 50, but I do know for a fact the nigga dead. I do know that for a fact. And I also got another story that kind of, you know, that kind of goes with this story. Like, it's like another story where my cousin ended up getting shot, dealing with this same, you know, being around this same nigga, but that's a later date. Anyway, Toto see the man pull up, and I guess he just seen it in his eyes, because You know what I'm saying? Toto started, he started running. He started getting somewhere. So the nigga pulled out. When the nigga pulled out, like I said, Toto running, the nigga started shooting. But now the nigga didn't even hit Toto. Toto ended up being killed because Toto was running. A nigga that he was running behind pulled out and started shooting without looking and ended up hitting Toto in the head, man. Damn near point blank range. So it was really like friendly fire. That just goes to show you, like, all that shooting without looking, that's how innocent bystanders get killed. And, I'm going to call Toto an innocent bystander because even though, he may have had 1 foot in the streets, really not even 1 foot in the streets, even though he may have been hanging with guys that was in the streets, Toto wasn't even, he wasn't even like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Toto was a real good dude. You know what I'm saying? And, he was young as hell. And, he was our guy, man. So, Toto, that really hurt. And that was the first person that I could remember that just really, the streets just, really took like that. And then it was on some bullshit. Like, the whole situation was bogus. You know what I'm saying? Niggas weren't really even into it like that. Niggas grew up with each other and shit, and then niggas end up getting into it, fighting, and then the shit go to, what I'm saying, motherfuckers blowing at each other. But yeah, man. Alto Clayton motherfucking Brown, man. I'll never forget you, bro. Straight up, man. I'ma always love you, bro. And that's what's up, man. I'm gonna be doing these stories. I'm gonna get more used to doing them, you know what I'm saying? So of course they gonna get a lot better once I get heated up. But like I said, I'm gonna be doing these stories often. And in a couple of days, I'm gonna try to give y'all another one. I got 1 million of these. I'm gonna be talking about shit that I've been through in prison, shit that I've just been through in my life, situations that I've been in and stuff like that, man. So I hope y'all enjoy it, man. It's your motherfucking boy, man, SN. I'm out.